Hello.
Joe, you have no voice. No, you do.
I think it's because Drew's not here yet. All right, so Drew is in Missouri.
Well, why everybody in Missouri?
So, and I think we all kind of came to the conclusion that we thought he lived in Missouri. So we're gonna have to figure out that mystery.
Okay, so isn't it? There's a St. Louis in both, right?
Dude, I am not a geographical expert.
What? Bullshit. Well, don't lie to me. I know you got maps all over your house.
Those stump shows were that you wanted to do about geography. That's why I was like, no, but I mean, it is what it is.
The whole point is to stump you.
All right, so I'm going to handle Raw Rundown, SmackDown shit talk, and it's still I guess it bothers me now that WWE does their own Raw Rundown, which it shouldn't bother me. It's their content; they should be able to do it. But what do they call it? They don't call it Raw Rundown; they call it something else.
Do they call it the Runback or something like that?
Yeah, it's like Raw Recap. That's what it is. Raw
Recap.
It's stupid. We came up with the idea first. Obviously, we were the original people to come up with the idea to talk about something recorded after it transpires. Like, obviously, we're the original ones to come up with.
No one else has done that shit.
And no one does it the way that Drew does it. They could hire anybody.
No, absolutely.
No one does it like Drew.
I mean, I try really hard. I try. I really do.
You do a good job.
You do a good
job. Drew, he's the original.
So, but guys, I have some news for you. All right. So before we get into it, I'm going to tease it because I'm not showing it until Drusif gets here. But yesterday, which apparently Raw was on at 3 o'clock yesterday? 4 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
It's on 3 o'clock next Monday. Hey, wait. It's 3 o'clock next Monday.
4.
Next Monday, it's 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock next Monday.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't realize that. I went back, whatever. And there was a very interesting segment, which I feel like we would normally kind of gloss over. But I want to give it its flowers because it really was a source of inspiration. And it is kind of entertaining, even though it's something we've treaded on before. El Grande Americano. Okay? It's great, even though we've seen it a million times. One of my favorite versions of it was Sami Zayn's version of it. What was he called?
El Generico.
Yes, the generic wrestler.
I think probably the best fake lucha name of all time. El Generico.
So watching and seeing how full of a background this, and there's lots of wrestlers that are unknown to me personally. And to learn all this about him in such a nice little brief little package, I thought was a great way. So I, dug in through the archives. Todd, your mom sent me some interesting photographs of you, but I'm going to work on these and I'm going to call them Under the Mat. And they're going to be these obviously 100% factual, almost like video reports about our histories. And I'll reach out sometimes to some celebrities and some big names that I know to do the voiceover. And, I try to make them as fitting as possible. Like this one being the first one. And because I only had 24 hours, I wouldn't necessarily call him a friend, but he's an associate, somebody I know. He wasn't busy really doing anything. He's not really too busy of a guy. But I had him. He did a quick voiceover for it, And so I'll play that later on when Drew gets here. But before that happens, how are you guys doing?
We're doing.
What?
Todd, you look like you're doing really well.
These fucking vapes do the shit.
I know, man. What are you vaping on right there?
It's the hash rosin sample that I got from work. It's VC cookies.
Ooh,
you know,
VC
same our weed and shit.
They get you really high.
Yeah, like this shit's good. But
sweet.
I'm doing
so
good.
Without
I'm
further
well.
ado,
I'm tired.
You're tired. Garrett, I want you to be paying attention because I'm going to have the other screen up if Drew pops in so you can accept him and put him in.
I got you. I'm just trying to find something here in WrestleFeed that we use all the time. WrestleFeed. Sponsor.
And if they ever want to sponsor us,
talk about you all the time.
All right. So this week, SmackDown. Where were we, guys? Who remembers where we were at?
Bologna.
We were in Bologna, where Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins will be in the first place for the first time since everything combusted in a steel cage match at MSG. So this is what we got. All right. We had Randy Orton coming out to a rabid response to open SmackDown. Let me tell you the pop we got for Randy. Sheesh. Sounds like we missed him a little bit. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we missed a little bit of Randy?
A little bit.
Randy makes you dandy.
I mean, I really don't see us finishing out John Cena's last run without having some sort of feud.
Gotta have something. I mean, they keep on that we're living in the timeline right now where Randy's the good guy and Cena's a heel. Like, let's go. Let's go.
And we've spent a lot of time,
I had a thought.
like, in our lives, dealing with the two of them, dealing with each other. And I really think it's about damn time that we finish it off. You know what I mean?
I had a thought.
What's up?
Let it out.
What if at WrestleMania, Cena, Cody, they're going back and forth. They're going at it like I do with Joe. And then Cena's about to win and slowly select sections of the stadium go dark and the power goes out and the power goes out.
Ooh.
He turned his back on his family. There's a certain group of people who don't enjoy that. So to see him get demolished by the Wyatt Six would be fucking amazing.
Now, would that really be... I would love to see it. And if we had more time with Cena, I think it would be... I think it's something that they would run with, especially with, like, Cena, like... he was one of Bray's last feuds. You know? Like, that would be poetic. I don't see enough time with this John Cena farewell tour unless it's not really a John Cena farewell tour.
He might be Mark Henry on like a hardcore version because first of all, didn't Mark Henry do it to Cena?
Yep. Yeah.
So he could just be playing because I think I said this before, and I think we all agree that even though there is still 8-9 months left of the year, they're not going to let Cena be done with his career as a heel. Like they're not going to let that happen. We all know they're not going to let that happen. I mean, they could change it. But to me, like, you know, you're writing out this story of him being a heel for a few months now going into WrestleMania or 2 months or whatever. So could they change it quick? Yeah, but it would, to me, be stupid if they were like heel Cena the first half of the year and all of a sudden he turned and was like good guy again. So I don't know. I feel that now that this has happened, it might go longer. He might have just been playing us the whole time and just complete like Mark Henry to everybody.
So hear me out. Okay. I have it's not I got a feeling this is what's going to happen, and I don't want it to happen, but I feel like the way things have been going, it's what's been happening. Cena, Cody, they're wrestling WrestleMania. Okay? Cena is about to win. And The Rock bottoms Cena. Cody stands up, shakes The Rock's hand, pins Cena, retains. Comes out, Cody was actually The Rock's guy this whole time. The Rock, for one final time, the guy who he had the biggest beef besides Stone Cold with, the biggest beef in most of the kids' now memories, whole year long, Mania to Mania beef, he's getting Cena back. Now Cena turns back. He hits a dark spot in between Mania and SummerSlam. And he has to remember who he is. He has to refine his hustle. He has to refine his loyalty. And at the end, John has to find respect for himself. And at SummerSlam, only then will he deserve to hold 1-7 on his shoulders. Not as a heel, but as a face. And who helps him? Let's go! Big Match John in the house.
That's actually smart.
That's what I'm calling right now. First time you're hearing this theory because it just popped in my motherfucking head.
All right. No, that's extremely good. I could see more to what Todd was saying, how not flipping it, is that he does get the title. He is swerving everybody. I'll retire when I feel like retiring. But then somehow they managed to actually flip Cody and one in the next year, or whoever he's going to take on last, and he actually ends up going to next Mania still as the champ, and then loses it there. But he flips while he's holding it. I could see them trying to pull that off, so that he does, stay as the face, or return as the face and retire that way.
Todd's on a different planet right now.
You're right there, Todd.
All right.
These things are
So I have said the first statement of what happened on SmackDown. All right. So that turned into but that is my theory. I'm sticking by it right now. Before he can say a word, he's interrupted by KO. KO says Randy did not deserve Kevin injuring him, and he's sorry. Kevin forgives Randy for picking Cody over him. If Randy can forgive KO for injuring him, he feels like that they could be the best tag team champions. And he saved Carmelo Hayes last week to save Randy from himself. And what did Randy tell him, guys? Told him to stick it up his ass. Because that's what Randy Orton does. He tells people to stick things in their ass, and he punts them in their face. And that's exactly what he tells KO he's going to do. He says he's going to kick his head clean off his shoulders at WrestleMania. Next, we have Damian Priest and Jimmy Uso. Weird pairing. Defeat Todd's favorite, Shinsuke and Drew McIntyre, with Priest landing a South of Heaven on Nakamura for the win. What?
Could they put together a team that Todd hates more?
I know, right? They're like, who does Todd? There we go.
Who does Todd
There we go.
Most?
And then you have McIntyre and Damian. They fought the entrances, and McIntyre severely beat Priest after the bell. Then we had this interview with Tiffany and Charlotte. And it's kind of spurred a lot of controversy or whatever. And they're saying it. People are saying that Tiffany sucked on it and that Charlotte just crushed it. I think that was 100% by design. I think because Charlotte's whole angle with Tiffany right now is you're not ready. You didn't deserve it. You're not ready to be the champ. And that kind of thing where Charlotte is just about decimating her verbally now, mentally. I think it's all. I don't think it was Tiffany sucked. I think Tiffany did great. Charlotte just is that much better on the mic.
Well, and she's supposed to be. She's the veteran in
Right.
this.
And I feel like that was that was a good part. And then you had Flair patronizing Stratton throughout the interview, and I truly think that was by design. And then we had Braun Strowman defeating Jacob Fatu via DQ. Strowman gets a title shot as Solo costs Fatu a shot at the title. How do we feel about this?
I just don't know what they're doing with Strowman in general. You know what I mean? He's here.
Yay!
He's here.
Okay.
It is I.
Ultima Pantera de la Muerta. So, quick background here, Drew. Because I was so interested in the Ultima, because of the letters, I'm just gonna call you Drew, okay, Pantera? It's just easier to say for the podcast, okay? So, with learning everything about El Grande Americano last night, and because there's so many wrestlers that we don't know things about, I felt that our fans need to know more backgrounds about us. So I kind of dug in. I'm digging into everybody's background. You and I obviously have a shared past that'll come up when I get to our package. Get what I'm saying? But tonight we have the debut. Oh my. We have the debut of
I'll be right back.
Of Garrett's package. Okay. And hang on. Okay, so.
Dios mío.
So, guys, this is the debut segment of Under the Mat.
Mm.
Okay, right there. Share screen. Window. There we go. All right. Hide. Play.
In professional wrestling, sometimes it's hard to decipher what's kayfabe and what's reality. Here are the true stories. Here's what happens under the mat. Derek, the mastermind, narrated by me. In 1939, Drew Plunkett Books escaped from France. He became a wrestler. He had to provide for his family. His young son, Gary, he became one of the best American heroes in the 40s and the 50s and going into the 60s. He was the best, the very best, had a lot of the championships. And then the Vietnam War happened. And Gerard Brooks, as he was now known, he went to Vietnam. He fought. He fought on the battle. He fought on the Vietnam. He fought them all by himself. The character of Rambo, even though it's partly based on me, it's based on Gerard Brooks. Sadly, Gerard passed away. In the 80s, his son Gary was the Wild Man. He was known as Gary Wild Man Punk. He was the Savage. Gary the Savage. Oh, he was wonderful. Hulk Hogan based himself upon him as a real American hero. He helped bring the end of the Cold War. And after he hung over David Hasselhoff, he decided he wanted to raise his bastard son Garrett and his legitimate son Phillips. He wanted to raise them together. Now, his son Garrett, he had a little trouble growing up. And he had a nasty toward Philip, Lee Cleveland. But Gary decided it was time to come back to the wrestling world. And it was a different wrestling world. It was the 90s. And Gary came back, and people were edgier, and Gary did something that nobody thought he would. And on the same day, the same trio emerged. Gary became their fourth man. And he joined the WWO. But sadly, the fans hated him, and no one ever hired Gary again. But thankfully, his sons CM Punk and Garrett, they were a tag team for a little while, but Garrett could not get over himself, and he lashed out at his brother. Vince was not happy about this, and Vince actually worked for Garrett. And he played him as a commentator. But this didn't go as well as Garrett thought, because in the early 2000s, Garrett was arrested. Something the boys and mangoes, we don't know exactly. And he started trying to become a podcaster, and this was not good. It was not good. He was the Joe Biden of podcasting. But then he found Joey Stones and Todd and Drew, and he really started coming out of the shell. Yeah. And then, look right here. You can see it right here. This is when he really, really just turned off the neck brace and became the man that he was meant to be. But he really has one person to thank.
Oh my God, I
And
forgot about
he just see that person come out and, he's the greatest. He's the best there ever has done it. And look, you can see, Garrett shedding it on, and there he is, the man who elevated Garrett. The president, this is coming from the president of the United States. He might be the very greatest, best, and most wonderful person in the world. Look how he helped Fred gain the title. And then in the same breath, humbles it. I don't know, he's just the best humbler. Nobody can humble like Joey Stubbs can humble somebody. And look at the floor. He's wasting his talents here. On a Philly Rain podcast, look at him doing. He's doing wonderful. And this is what Garrett is now. I'm crying. Joey Stubbs doesn't even want him. He's making sure this is what America needs. America needs somebody to put down the people's elbow on him. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at him go. He's wild. And he made sure he kicks him when he's down. Nobody kicks him down like me. But let me tell you, Joe Stubbs kicks him low. And he gets his belt with the champions.
Excellent.
And that.
This documentary is missing one thing, right? Is the fact that punch actually sent me into cardiac arrest, and that was me for life. And my heart only started beating again when Joe came back in for that elbow. It brought me right back. All right, I don't know how the editor forgot about that part, but that was a very important piece. Was that I, for a moment, might have died.
Did you temporarily kill fucking Garrett?
That's what Garrett's claiming right now. I didn't receive a lawsuit, but like it's so much.
We weren't allowed to see each other. We signed a thing.
So Punk is actually short for Plunkett. Like everything makes so much more sense now. Like because when Gerard Plunkett Brooks came over from France, like Garrett, I didn't realize you were a third generation.
It is what it is, man. I mean, it's not something I want to talk about.
And like, I think you should reconcile with your brother and help us get some viewers, man. Like,
no. We have falling out for a reason. Okay.
I guess so. AJ Lee picked him over you.
AJ Lee she's like this tall. She's like a toddler. It's gross.
Oh. Wow, now he's talking smack about his sister-in-law. This is getting wild. Anyways, so the guys, that was this week's Under the Mat. Todd's story is, I'll try to get it done this week so we have it for next week for our, what guys? What happens next week? Next Tuesday is our 1 year anniversary as
yeah, that's right.
a network.
Yeah, one whole year. Which is weird that it was on the first.
Yeah, I think I remember making a comment that like now people are gonna think it's a joke every year when we say it's our anniversary.
Yeah, but it's like we're launching a new network on the first. No, you're not. Yeah, we are.
All right. So then we had Braun and Jacob. They're doing their thing. Piper defeated Zelina Vega. I'm sorry, Todd, after interference from both Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. Vega looked strong and had great crowd reaction. She really is like becoming kind of like the underdog favorite of the women's division. Then we had Liv pin Jade with Oblivion after Naomi hit Jade with the women's tag team title. Naomi then hit the ring to bludgeon Cargill with elbows and strikes. She bumps Jade from the ring apron into the announce desk and it hits Cargill with signature pose multiple times. Street Profits entered new music. I don't care. I don't care about them. And all pretty deadly. It's pretty dumb.
I'll care about them when they
Their
split.
outfit match.
Yeah. Then we had Roman arrive, and the crowd went wild. Roman says he was screwed by Punk at the Rumble, but he screwed Punk last week. He continues that Seth tried to kill him at the Royal Rumble, so last week he tried to kill Seth. Roman says he's out here and has the time, so if anyone wants to acknowledge him, they can right now. Rollins' music hits, and he says Roman should have let him end CM Punk while he had the chance. Rollins says it's not about Punk. It's always been about Rollins and Roman before Punk's music hits. Punk says he didn't screw Roman at Rumble. He says the match is every man for himself, and he wouldn't have made the Rumble if he didn't save his family's ass at War Games. And this was the best part about it. The Punk then thanks Heyman for delivering Tribal Chief and points out he's owed a favor. And I want to know what this deal Heyman and Rollins have. Because right now, like, it seems like Paul's going to have to choose between the two again, like he did with Brock and Roman. But this one, you actually have somebody who can talk on the mic.
True.
I don't know. But I thought it started off, it was all right. But it definitely by the end was a good episode. Then we had this week's Raw. Drew, you said you do not have a Raw rundown, right?
Who is this Drew?
Ultimo, Pantera.
No, I don't. I don't have one. I was filling out resumes. Lucha's just not paying the bills.
The hard
All
life.
right, so Todd, where were we last night?
Fuck.
Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh yeah, Glasgow. Because I was shocked that fucking Drew didn't start it, and it wasn't all about Drew because he's stupid.
Yeah, that guy's dumb.
So Big Match John,
You meant McIntyre.
he started it off.
Right.
Yeah, not Ultimo Pantera de la Muerta. So as we were talking about things, I came up in my brain bubble here. I have what I'm sticking to is going to be my theory for the John Cena farewell tour. All right. Cena's going to be about to win at Mania. Is it confirmed it's the three of them now? Or is that a two?
Yeah. What? Ooh.
Is it just Cena and Cody, right?
Just Cena and Cody, yeah.
Okay. All right. So Cena and Cody, they're going. Cena's about to beat Cody. The Rock interferes and stops him. Cody gets up, shakes The Rock's hand. Cody pins him. Cody's been The Rock's guy the whole time. And then the time in between Mania, SummerSlam, John has to relearn his hustle, his loyalty, and his respect for himself. So he turns back face because there's no way Cena's going to end his last run as a heel. And then at SummerSlam, because he's relearned his H, his L, and his R's, he can truly be deserving of the 17. And then Cena wins at SummerSlam. That is my theory with this, okay? That being said, he crushed his fucking intro.
Dude.
Like, him bringing up the kid, like, dude, like, he way better than last week. He crushed it, man.
He uttered my favorite line I've ever heard any heel say. I'm going to ruin wrestling. That, like, I'm going to ruin it for every fan, for every wrestler, for everyone. that I was like, yes, he's really going into mixing the kayfabe in reality. Just again, it's so good. I love it.
He absolutely he crushed it. He told the crowd that throughout his career, he always learned from their hatred. Through their criticism, he has studied them. He's here to tell them what he's about to do about it. John says now he knows everything about the audience and what they want, and he's going to take it all away from them. And like Garrett said, he said he's going to ruin wrestling for every fan, every wrestler, and everyone. He mentions the spinner belt and how much everyone hated it. Cena says he's going to make everyone forget Ric Flair. He says he's going to win the WWE Championship and retire with the belt, leaving them to find a new toy. Then our hero, quote unquote, Cody Rhodes, enters to face Cena and says if he wants the title, he'll have to go through Cody. Cody lays the title on the floor and says, if you want the title, come and take it. Cena walks away. Cody calls his name, and Cena walks halfway back down the ramp and stops. Cody says he'll walk away empty-handed at WrestleMania and from WWE. Great way to start off Raw. And then Jey Uso had a tag team match with A-Town Down Under, and his surprise partner was none other than Jimmy Uso. Which,
So good.
it was great. It was a great match and everything. And even though I think it's going to be a one-off, what they did with their brief time together, I thought was great. All right. So the Usos win. Gunther comes out of the crowd to attack Jey. Jey goes to spear Gunther, but slips. Great slip. Very, very believable. It looked real. And Judgment, and then they kind of go at it. Later on, well, I'll just talk about it now. Jimmy kind of flipped out on Jey for continually stumbling on his road to WrestleMania. Jey admits he doesn't know if he can beat Gunther. And Jimmy gets in his face to psych him out. Jimmy challenges Gunther to a match on Raw next week. And then he slaps Gunther, which I thought was fucking wild.
Best slap in a long time.
And after the champion tells him not to slap like his brother. Like, dude, like it was great. I like the fit. So what I think they're gonna have happen, I think they're gonna have Gunther like injure Jimmy. And it's almost gonna go back to like when Roman Reigns first came back with Paul Heyman and hurting the one brother to get him to now like I feel like it's going to be something very, very similar, but it's gonna work in the way to give Jey strength to defeat Gunther. That's what I think is going with that. Then we had the Judgment Day. They're prepping for Raquel's title match. Dom is worried about Finn being MIA in the IC Championship situation. Liv says not to worry about it, while Carlito says he's going to challenge for the IC title too. Then, like I said, we got an excellent vignette giving the historical context to El Grande Americano, the Lucha Libre who keeps showing up on Raw, who may or may not be Chad Gable. But obviously it can't be Chad Gable because in the next segment, Chad looked obviously under the weather. He looked like dog shit. And he had a doctor's note. Adam Pearce verified it. It's a verifiable
document.
Yeah. Now, Otimo, you must be very familiar with El Grande Americano.
See,
his
yes.
rich historical content.
One of my favorites, if not probably the best luchador ever.
So you can say without a shadow of a doubt that is not Chad Gable, correct?
No, correct. This is not Chad Gable.
Okay. All right.
Can't
so now
confirm.
we have verification on our end that is not Chad Gable. Okay, guys?
Mm-mm.
All right. So he suggests El Grande Americano take his spot. Dragon Lee accepts. And Rey Mysterio calls Gable a jackass as he leaves. Like, I get it, Ray. I think he's just turning a crotchety old man. It reminds me of Gran Torino. Lyra Valkyria defeats Raquel despite Liv's interference. Liv and Raquel then attack Lyra after the bell. Bailey makes the save, and I have to say, She looked pretty scrumptious.
Oh boy.
Bailey's looking fit. Very fit. Then after the Jimmy Gunther thing, we had Adam Pearce saying that Rhea Ripley is putting her name on WrestleMania women's title match is not official, and she's not added to the match. Io Sky says she'll take on both Bianca and Rhea, but before Bianca enters and disagrees, she says she's earned her title match, and she'll not let Rhea into the match without earning it. Boom! Rhea's music hits, and Pierce confirms Io Sky versus Bianca for next week's Raw, with the winner facing Belair at Mania. Boom. Then we had our man, Dirty Dom. He approached Penta once again to try to coerce him into the Judgment Day, telling him that he could be IC champion tonight. And then some group we don't care about, the Old Knight, I think they're called. They talked to Adam Pearce, and he said they need to behave themselves. He then makes Bianca Belair the special guest referee for Io Sky versus Bianca on Raw next week. Nah, not versus Bianca, versus Rhea. Then we had El Grande Americano defeat Dragon Lee. As Lee loses his mask, which I know how bad that is, and then he, honestly, I think what it was a tribute to Chad Gable, getting him in the match, but he finished the match with Chad Gable's ankle lock.
Yeah.
That's obviously what it was. CM Punk says he's pissed off because he isn't going to get what he wants. He says for Seth and Roman, it's personal, and for Punk, it's business. Punk references his AEW press conference as he calls Seth a child. He says Roman is worried that his wise man isn't only his wise man. That was the line that I was like, ooh. Punk says they'll see him in London for a contract signing next week. He says neither of them have beaten him without the other's help, and he brought Rollins and Roman Reigns into the business. He can't wait to take him out of this. I love that line. Like, I love this whole segment. Like, your wise man ain't just your wise man. The callback to the Shield, like, it all. Even though Punk's saying, "Oh, it's not personal," he's like, "But
it's always personal with Punk."
It's only personal with Punk.
As Garrett,
you would know, yeah.
Yeah,
it's all he only makes it personal.
Yep.
Yeah.
But doesn't that get you better results?
It does.
From the story.
What do Thanksgiving, Garrett? What do Thanksgivings look like?
There's a lot of broken chairs. Usually, someone ends up covered in mashed potatoes or it's.
Oh, that's funny. My and Todd's Thanksgiving ends the same way, but I'm guessing.
There's a whole different type of gravy going around when you guys get together. Okay. All right.
And then the problem child himself cut a little promo, wasn't there, but a little vignette calling AJ Styles' mom hairstyle. Like, I get the joke, but it's been done now for 10 years. We get it. He's got a soccer mom hair. We get it.
It does look really nice. It has a great sheen.
It really does. And then Braun Breaker's asked if he's worried about Penta in the Judgment Day discussion, but he says he doesn't have to worry because the dogs are barking in Glasgow tonight.
Meow.
They were barking, baby.
I can assure you I was not rooting for Breaker in this.
Let me tell you, though, the whole exchange, the match, the after part with Finn looked great. I want to see Finn versus fucking Braun Breaker. I want to see the Demon come out. I want to see Braun beat him, and then Finn have to go back and bring back the Demon to beat Braun Breaker. I want to see that shit. Let it fucking happen. Let's go. Because Finn looks like he's raring to have a fantastic match. Because let's be honest, Homeboy's been on the shelf since he won that Universal title. He hasn't really done nothing since then. And I want him to at least give us one match of the potential of Mr. Bullet Club himself. Give us the Prince, guys. Give it to us. I want it.
You know what they should do, Joe? Give it to me.
Anal.
That other than that is right before their match, you should see backstage where Liv and Raquel show up, and the rest of the guys, or Carlito and Dom, are just beat to crap. Right? They're just laid out, and they're like, "Who did that?" And they're like, they set him up, and it was like, it was the Demon, and then that's when then he comes out, and he just, that's it. He's done with Judgment Day. He's on his own. He comes out. He wins the title. He's doing his own thing.
Oh, sorry.
The best
My
part
Jock
of
Jam-
that sound effect.
Sometimes my Jock Jams Volume 1 starts playing. I'm sorry, guys.
The best part about that sound effect, each one has an icon, and that is literally the fucking No Ghost logo going like this.
All right. Do we have anything to touch upon news-wise?
I spoke of this earlier in the chat, but if anybody's watching and you live locally, ICP will be in Liverpool on the 25th of May, but they are bringing Juggalo Championship Wrestling with them. So if you want to go see a wrestling show and a concert, I think tickets were like $53, which is really not bad to see all that shit.
Yeah, that's
and I believe, if I'm not wrong, that Danny Moe, who has wrestled in like Immortal and stuff, is their women's champion, I believe. So
Danny Moe.
But yeah, if you're local, it should be a good show, fun show. I mean, ICP puts on a good show in general. You just get covered in soda.
Fago? Could be worse things you could be covered in.
That's true.
Not mashed potatoes
Mashed potatoes.
with all the gravy. Stuffing. It's got weird.
Todd, you shared a picture to the chat about, like, wouldn't it be great if Heyman walked out with Rollins? If he left the other two behind and just walked out. Was that you that sent that? Somebody sent that into the chat.
It was not I.
Todd, I thought that was
I
you.
didn't send it.
No.
Todd, are
Must
you
be
high?
your other wrestling podcast, Garrett.
Todd, are you high again?
You
I
know, be great. You got Punk and Roman out there like arguing about Paul or whatever, and all of a sudden you just hear Lesnar's music hit, and Lesnar comes out and he's like, "Who's is he?
And then
Who?
he poops on him.
Who?"
That's just
I mean,
awful.
Lesnar did not do any pooping. He apparently physically broke people through sexual actions. Allegedly, nothing has been
Allegedly.
proven. Concrete fact, except that Garrett's dad was the fourth member of the NWO. That's gonna become a thing now, isn't it?
Oh, sweet.
All right,
Not too much.
It better be.
You won't even see it.
Monday mornings we
It's fucking
have
us.
the Todd and Joe Morning Show, and what's today, the 25th? In less than a month, we'll have our second annual 420 special. Now,
Which
we're
is
supposed
also
to do
the
it this
anniversary
Saturday.
of our show.
Yeah, it honestly, the 420 special is actually kind of the
That was the first one we did.
the pilot episode for Todd and Joe Morning Show. We did that, and we enjoyed doing it so much. We just continued getting stoned and recording, and turned into a morning show.
Mhm.
Anyway, we're supposed to
Yes.
record that this Saturday, right?
Yes, anytime after 1.
Okay, I have to reach out to Alex, because so the basis for this year's is Weedeparty, and I found 3 people who work in the cannabis cultivating business and adjacent to be the contestants, and they're going to be categories like weed science. Is that a weird science? And then there's going to be stoner icons and stuff like that. And then the second game I don't remember what I had decided I was going to do. I'm sure I'll figure it out by Saturday. But there was another game I wanted to do that I had like planned. It's in there. It's somewhere in there. I'll figure it out.
Sure it is.
At some point, I'll figure it out. I don't remember, but I'll figure it out. And then we got some other things in the pike. I will post the Garrett biography video on the YouTube. I will upload that bitch, and we'll share it. Drew, I know, has some ideas he wants to get going. Garrett's got Wrestle Fandom After Dark. Me and Todd have some things. I have some other people I want to bring in. The OnlyFans with our feet. We got that going.
OnlyFans coming with me, man.
And if you remember, guys, if you are a top tier diamond member,
girlfriend.
If you are a top tier diamond member, and I believe that's $500 a month, Ultimo Pantera de la Muerta will send you videos of him not wearing his mask. All right. Shock out. Baby Bubba. I just love you all so much. I'm gonna break it down. Gonna dance. Todd, hit me with it one more time. Bye, nerd.